Howdy, Simmers. Does anyone else just forget that Tiny Living exists? Tiny Living introduced a new system to the build and buy mode and kind of gave us a reason to actually build tiny homes. There are three tiers for tiny homes, which is small home, tiny home, and then tier 1 is micro home, which is the smallest one. And each tier comes with its own set of benefits, and it's basically the smaller the home, the more benefits you get. So tier 3, the small home, only comes with 2 benefits, whereas micro home on tier 1 comes with 6. The reason I'm telling you all this is because today I have actually built a tiny home. And it really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that I don't really build tiny homes. I am very well known for being a family player and specializing in family homes. So tiny builds are not my specialty at all. But I went ahead and did a tiny home, which is the second tier. And I believe it's like 64 tiles is the max you can have for it to qualify as a tiny home. And just for that specific tier, I don't know what it actually is for the last tier, but tier 2 is 64. And I believe I used a total of 62 tiles for this lot in the end. But because this is such a small home, I did want to add some like dimension to it and some like fun shapes. So I have pop outs on like 3 sides of the building, and then we have this like balcony at the top. But this is the 2-story tiny home, if I remember correctly. I think that's what I called it. And I don't know why, but I was really in the mood for kind of a darker color scheme, which is not surprising. I feel like a lot of my builds take on a very dark color scheme. I don't know. I'm into dark and moody kind of builds, I guess. But I can't say I'm entirely impressed by the exterior. Like, I definitely put in maybe a little more effort for some stuff, but I don't know. I think it being so small just it just doesn't work, I guess, really is the thing. But I'm also not used to building smaller builds, so maybe that's why I'm just kind of thrown off by this. But I wanted this to look kind of overgrown, kind of overtaken by nature. We're building this in Windenburg, by the way, which doesn't give me like magic vibes really. Like Glimmerbrook probably would, but I don't really like that world. But Windenburg has some nice areas where it could kind of feel magical and it's very naturey, and so I just wanted this to kind of look like a fairy tale. But I have no experience with building cottages either, which I feel I kind of gave vibes of with this build. You can see from the balcony, I'm doing a lot of messing around with like nature type stuff. And this will definitely get a little complicated here momentarily because I did end up jumping into debug for this build for some things. But you can see I'm putting the cheats in. But I sized up the curtain from, oh gosh, what is the plant kit that we got? There's Greenhouse Haven, but then there's also one that came before it, and I can't think of what it's called. Blooming Rooms. There we go. There's so many kits nowadays, it's hard to keep track. But the Blooming Rooms kit comes with this beautiful, like, nature leafy curtain. And I decided to size it up and hang it kind of on the balcony, along with some, like, nature things from Jungle Adventure. And you can see I am currently trying to place a bunch of wisteria on the house, which is so hard to do. Wisteria and all of the nature stuff is just so strange to me, and it's not something that I typically put on my builds, so I don't know how to use it properly without making the house look just horrible, basically. So this is probably the best job that I have done with that stuff, honestly. And we're just going around doing some light terrain stuff. I do actually make this fairly lush, I feel. Obviously with, all the nature on the house, but also just with, trees that will eventually be in the back. I removed all of the brush that I had in front of here to make like a little underground gardening space. I kind of wanted this to be like a gardener's mini, I don't even know, gardener's travel house, maybe? I don't know. It's so small. There's only room for one person in this house. It is quite literally a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and the bedroom is completely open on the upstairs. So tiny homes are hard, y'all. Like there's a reason I don't typically build these kind of houses. I am a much bigger fan of the more open kind of look where it's like big and bright. And as much as I love the cozy vibes, it just felt so cramped in this house. But I think it turned out fine for the most part. Obviously, this is not a house that would be suited for company, given it is a one-person house. This whole downstairs area is so tiny. I did not fit a couch into this house at all. There's like a single chair and a stool for seating. But I got some clutter around. We just put a couple of shelves up. I make sure to get a few plants here and there as well to kind of fit into the whole like plant lover gardener vibe. And yeah. But it was hard fitting everything into this little section. So we have a very small kind of living room. I put the TV on a diagonal. And yeah, it's not a good TV. It's really not, but it is what it is. And then I got this little chair from Cottage Living, I believe. I really like that pattern on it. Dining room wise, I struggled. I wanted to fit two chairs into this, and I just couldn't. There was no good spot for that table. So it ends up being a one person, and yeah. So if you have any loner Sims, basically, who just kind of want to spend their days rotting away, this is the house to do it in. So there's not a lot of activities going on. They don't have a computer. They have the TV, a bookshelf, and obviously the gardening stuff. And that's really it. So you can't really fit a lot into tiny homes, as, you know, the name suggests. I don't know how anyone builds a micro home, because this was already enough of a struggle for me. So anyone who does build homes that are smaller than this, I applaud you. So, yeah, we have one bathroom. We have the shower tucked in that little corner there. And then we have our bedroom section, which isn't anything fancy. I gave them a dresser and a bed, because that's really all you need for a bedroom. I wanted to give them an end table, but I was worried with this space that they wouldn't actually be able to get into the bed if I had the end table. So I just put a mirror there, and yeah. So we're already getting to the end of the footage. This didn't take me long at all. It took me maybe an hour, if we're being honest, but I had some stuff that I kind of did in between. And I did cut out some of the footage, actually, of me just trying to figure out all the nature stuff. But I will go ahead and hop into game and give you the tour of the house. All right, so here it is. And as you can see, we already have someone hanging out outside. But this is our little house. We have just some light landscaping in terms of terrain paint, but very nature filled around here. I really like this area of Windenburg. I didn't even notice all those like rocks over there. This is a really pretty area that I've built in. But I'm gonna actually start over here just so you can see kind of this underneath area. Oh. I just noticed these kind of curtain strings on there. It's fine. But here's our little gardening space. It's nothing really special. We have trash can over there. I just realized that that vine stuff doesn't go all the way up to the top of the house either, but it's okay. So we're gonna move over this way. And I used this beautiful cottage living door for the front here. But we'll walk in, and as you can see, there is like no room whatsoever. So we have our little dining area over here, our little living section, and then our very small but functional kitchen. I made sure that we had an AC and a smoke detector as well. So I honestly think the living room is my favorite part of this. It's just really cute. It's obviously very small, but I think it's cozy. Alright, and then coming up the ladder here, you can get off from this side, and we have a bookshelf right here. But then we have these beautiful doors that are open to the balcony here from the bedroom. I think this is just so nice. Imagine like a nice day. You have the doors open, there's a breeze coming in, and you wake up to it. Oh, it's so nice. And look at this view. There's a little like fishing pond down here. You can see the bridge kind of in the back. This is so nice. But we have some gardening pots over here. We have the flower arranging table. And then through here is just going to be our very tiny, cramped little bathroom. And that is the house. And look, I remembered to paint the ceilings. If you'd like to download this build, you can find it on my gallery. My ID is TheSimmingKoalaa with 2 A's at the end. I always have it in the description for you guys if you ever want to download anything from me. But this build is called the 2-story tiny home. I hope you all like this build. If you have any build suggestions for me, you know, anything you want to see me build, definitely leave them in the comments below. I will try to get to as many of them as I can. I definitely think that I should try to build more tiny homes just to get some practice in. Tiny homes are definitely not my strong suit, but I'd like to be able to be better at them at some point. Who knows? Maybe I'll make something amazing one day. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss anything. Be sure to follow my socials. Links are below. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.